Hey, scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I'm here with a layout from Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. This is week 22 of our Theme Park Thursday series. I did get some feedback recently that there are people who don't like that I show the layout at the beginning. You wish I would just jump into it. Um, I would like feedback. Do you like that? Do you prefer to see the layout at the beginning? Or would you rather not? However, I'm not sure I'm going to make this a democracy. I really like when I'm watching videos to see what the layout's going to look like before I invest my time in watching it. So, but if you guys all, if it seems pretty unanimous that people would rather not see the layout at the beginning, that might sway me. But for right now, I'm going to continue to do this. And so those of you who maybe don't, I don't know how to have you not see the layout, especially when I put it on the thumbnail on YouTube. But let me know how you feel about that. Today's layout's super busy. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about the orange sticker letters for the title, but it's Buzz Lightyear and it's, their toys and it's in space and Zerg and fun. And I do like how it turned out and I had fun using a lot of my tools. This layout is long because I did have to figure out how to use a border maker cartridge to punch around a corner. And it was very time consuming, but I figured it out and I'm going to leave that all in the video so you can see my process and how I managed to do that. You might need to fast forward through that part if you want, but I kept it in. It took me a while to figure it out, a little trial and error, but maybe my technique of how I figured it out will help you when you're trying to figure out, can I do something? Hey, I have this idea. How do I know if it's going to work? And yeah, that's kind of what I do a lot of times when I'm scrapbooking. And I just I want to try something. How can I figure it out? And so hopefully that little insight into how I work things out will be helpful to you too. So hold on to your boots. Here we go. Calling Star Command. Come in, Star Command. It's time to ride Buzz Lightyear. Before we get going on the actual layout, I want to just check in with my album planning guide. It's kind of a mess and I've mixed things up a bit and I started to make a new one, but then I haven't kept up with it. So we are kind of to here. We had Small World, Haunted Mansion. These I had originally budgeted to be a double page layout each, but then I switched the order and I made them each a single page layout. And then I had Buzz to be a single page with the Rainy Photo Pass as a single page. But after looking at my photos, I think I'm going to make Buzz a full page or a double page layout. And I moved the Photo Pass to here. I mean, I'll show you just a sneak preview. You guys don't care, but like I just have these pictures that we took, which are basically the same picture. But I do want to save those. So we're to here. I still have 2 more layouts before I can get to the After Park Rain. This is the one I'm most excited about. I keep thinking that one's next. I've saved over here on my work desk all these little umbrellas that we punched out and didn't use a few layouts ago because I keep thinking, oh, the next layout, but it's been several layouts. So we'll be getting to those soon. And this picture actually, last week, the day that the Small World layout was posted, week 21, this actual photo came up on my Facebook memories as having happened 2 years ago. So I was kind of wishing that this was the next one, but we'll get to it. It'll still be 2 years and a couple weeks ahead. So that's kind of where we are. We're going to be, to about right here, which is each of these is 1 pack of pages. So it'll be about 1.5 packs of pages. And we'll fit that in our album. All right. So I've got these Buzz Lightyear pictures, and I have been doing a lot of stuff on Pinterest lately, getting a lot of my ideas from Pinterest, or I was at the beginning. I'm trying to kind of move away from that. I feel like I was turning that into a crutch, and it wasn't letting me be creative. I was letting myself be limited by that. So I'm just going to kind of arrange out my photos. For some reason, I only have my ride photo. When you ride this ride, everybody gets their ride photo. And we were in 3 separate cars. And I don't know where the other 2 ride photos are. That my girls, I'm sure that they exist. Sometimes it links to your Magic Band, and sometimes it doesn't link right. That's all I can think of. So this one, I don't have the ride photos for them. But I have other photos. So this one is one that Michelle took. It's a selfie. You can see there's Katie and there's me, each of us in our own. And then I, at the same time-ish, was also taking a photo. So this is me in the car, and then there's Katie and Michelle, and you can see she's got her little phone in her hand. So I thought that was pretty fun. So I want to put those together. This is at the end. The little scores are at the end. So I think I'm going to do something kind of like this, some kind of a layout that's kind of linear. And I tried to think of a different paper pack or collection I could use for this, and I kept coming back to Outta This World. This is one of my very favorite paper packs. I love it for Buzz Lightyear and Tomorrowland layouts, and I don't know how long it's going to be around. We've had this one since 2021. You know, you can always check the date on here, and it says 5/21. So we've had it for, 3 years, which is a long time. I don't think Creative Memories meant for us to have it that long. But 2021 was the year that they really didn't know what was happening, because it was after 2020 when all a whole bunch of scrapbookers like came back to life from being too busy. So this just has fun kind of spacey theme papers. I love this one with the speckles and the little stars, but I love the planets. I feel like this really matches Buzz Lightyear, so I definitely want to use those. This one is kind of like cheese. Like if you're from Wisconsin, a Packers fan, there's something to do with cheese. The stars kind of could go. I think any of these could go with Buzz Lightyear. So this one is a lot. I don't know that I would necessarily use this one. And then the back is a stripe, but it's also kind of a lot. So I think I want to use, well, I've also got this one that has the little constellations and this, but my next layout is going to be the people mover, and I kind of want to have like these these two coordinating. So I think I might use this as my kind of main paper, and maybe some of this yellow. I think it's supposed to be that way though, up and down lightning bolts. Maybe some of this orange, some kind of a stripe pattern. I wonder if I could punch something with my border maker. That would be fun. I don't think I want the stitch stars. I do love these little galaxy nebula things. And then of course this one is so super fun with the little rocket ships and planets. Maybe I want to do something with that. So I think these are going to be my papers for this time. But I don't know exactly what I want to do. So this is the part where I may just lay this out and then ponder on it for a few minutes. Just kind of thinking out loud, thinking about maybe some newer tools that we have, something that I've wanted to play with, I haven't had a chance to play with. I don't know, something that I'm waiting to be inspired. And you know, like I said, I have been getting inspired recently by Pinterest, but I'd like to do something a little different this time. So this is my, oops, I think I'm going to have to scoop my camera up because I think we're not fitting, and I'm sorry for the glare from the lights. All right, so there's my layout. It needs something. It needs some motion. It needs some action. Maybe some kind of a little border that comes around in here. Like with the chevron border. That could work, the chevron border. Let me pull out some border maker cartridges. And again, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I do my videos at home, but most of my scrapbooking supplies live over at my rented workshop space. And so sometimes I don't have at home something I might want to use with this. So I have to kind of improvise. But that's a good exercise for me, I think, sometimes to have to think outside of the box and not just grab whatever would be perfect, to find something that maybe not quite perfect, but will work. So I'm going to pull out a few Boilermaker cartridges and see what I can come up with. Okay, so I've pulled 4 Boilermaker cartridges. This was from our baby line a few years ago, and it's a moon and star, so that might work. The chevrons, I like the idea of the motion. That was kind of the thing that I was thinking about. And then I found this one, which was the little starry border, which I thought could be a cute border around in here. And this one, this ribbon wave, maybe it was called. I really like this one. I feel like it also gives kind of some motion, some kind of spacey pattern. And I kind of wonder if I'm brave enough to do a double border with like the star pattern and then the ribbon on top of it. So I think I'm going to try that. And I was originally going to do like yellow, but this is like, you wouldn't want this to be yellow. You'd want the back to be yellow. So I'm wondering maybe if I should do this. Oh man, I don't know if I have it in me to do one of these behind. What if I did this behind just like that much, and then I punched with this along the border so it would be kind of space with this little yellow cheese poking out the back. I'd want to fold this and do the punch technique where we could punch around the corner, which is something I don't think I've shown you yet. I actually don't know if it'll work, and then maybe I cut out the middle and flip it over so that I can have some of the planets in here. I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of busyness. I don't think I can do that after last week's Small World. So once again, I think I'm going to do a practice punch on some scrap paper to see if my idea is going to work. I want to try and punch around the corner because these, well, I guess I could just leave the corner. But I want to trim this down, and so it doesn't really work. If it was a regular border punch, it would work, but the Boilermaker cartridges are a little bit trickier to work around a corner. So I'm going to try it with a scrap paper. Okay, so I want to make sure that this works. And so for this, the paper needs to be paper weight. So some of the older packs were cardstock weight. This one is paper weight. And what I want to do is trim off just about a quarter or half an inch. Well, yeah, let's say a quarter of an inch because it's going to cut that border. We can always cut it smaller if it doesn't work out. So I'm going to just cut off a quarter of an inch on 2 sides, and on the CM trimmer, the 1/4 inch mark is the edge of the gray piece on your mat. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off each side, not off each side, off 2 sides. So the horizontal side and the vertical side. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my star, I can't remember what it's called. It wasn't called star. It's called something else. Border into my holder. And what I want to do is punch around a corner. And the only way to do that with the Boilermaker is going to be to fold my paper. So I'm going to fold right here. And I don't know if I can do it any other way, but I need to punch off that side. This side should line up properly in the alignment guide. But I don't know how to, I would know how to do it if it was going to be straight, but we're going to have to double it and fold it again to do the other direction. So that's going to be the tricky part. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the corner up in here in the top. It doesn't come to the bottom here because I trimmed it. And I'm going to skip the first notch, and I'm just going to go to the second notch, and I'm punching through 2, so it's a little thicker. I don't know if this is going to work. If I just wanted it to be on 2 sides, that would be easier because I could do it on 2 sides. So I've gone off the edge, but now I need to do that edge because I want this to be like the corner right here. And I want to go off the edge here, but I want to do the corner again right here. So I'm going to fold it this way. And this is the corner that I had all the way at the top edge. I like to always start when I'm folding. I like to just start it with my thumbnail to make sure that I get that corner as crisp as I can. I think I did something like this on that Friendly Fish layout that I did for Under the Sea, didn't I? This is a little tricky. I should have maybe folded them, put the creases in first before I started punching, so I'd have my edges. All right, so this one I'm going to go all the way to the top, and hopefully, oh boy, I'm going to rip this little strip off. Hopefully, if all goes well, now when I punch this, this is going to line up. So cross your fingers with me and see if this will line up perfectly. It kind of lined up perfectly. It's not perfect, but I think it's close enough. So now what I can do, oh, this is going to be the tricky part though. I should have gone off the edge. No, because I didn't want it to fold. Because this one, I don't want to go all the way to the edge. This one needs to be 1/4 inch from the bottom right there. All right, we're going to try 1/4 inch from the bottom. We're going to try it. See if that works in that direction. Oh, no, I left too much space. I need it to go up a little bit more because that edge doesn't line up. All right, now how do we do this side then? Same thing. I can't line this one up with the top because it, oh, you know what? Let me get another piece of paper. Let me get a colored one. Here's a piece of solar yellow. I'm just going to punch one little edge. This is at the bottom so that I know how to line this guy up so that it lines up right. Because I know this one doesn't need to go to the top either. I'll put this underneath. All right, so if I line this up just like that, I'm going to hold it at the top because this paper is shorter. Slide that out. Now we're going to try it this way. Okay, again, it didn't quite line up perfectly, but I'm going to call it good enough. So this is now going to allow me to make a U shape with a pretty corner using the border maker. So this is a lot easier with like a frame punch. Like the geometric frame punch would have worked better. And now I know how to do that for the next time. So I'm going to do that with these precious pieces of this blue Galaxy background paper. So let me clean up my space and then we'll come back to punch. Okay, so I'm going to use my precious Galaxy paper with the planets on the back. And I think I am going to end up, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to end up cutting out the middle or not. But I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch on 2 sides to make it a 11 3/4 inch paper, just to give me that little gap. And then I'm going to fold it, and I don't know any way to avoid the fold. I mean, I guess I don't have to fold all the way down. Again, I'm going to start by kind of making sure the fold is just where I want it. I guess I don't have to like crease it all the way. I'll just do it in about that far. And then I need to go around, you know, this way and have that, these two corners I need to be able to go around the corner. So I'm going to crease this one. I think this is probably super confusing, you guys. I'm confusing myself. Surely there would be an easier way to do this. I could have just punched it and not cared. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two, I may have to fold it a little bit more, crease the fold. Oh well, what the heck, we're going to crease the whole thing. And then I'm going to have to do the exact same thing with the other paper because this is a 2-page layout. So it's going to be a little tricky for me. And hopefully it works because I don't have backups of this paper. This is the one I use the most. All right, so we'll start here. And once again, we're going to start with the corner, the straight corner up here in the top. And hopefully I've got that lined up right. So that straight corner is going to go in the top, but I'm not going to punch the top section. I'm going to punch what I think of as number 2. It's not quite folded in there. So make sure I'm punching through both sides. I'm going to punch through number 2, 3, 4. Look at that. I didn't even line it up. Not even the fault of the trimmer. It is very difficult to punch through 2 layers. So be very careful about which type of designer paper you punch through. Do this technique if you are crazy enough to try this technique. Okay, so now I've got this one. This is my first corner, and then I want to go around this corner. I want to finish this up, and I think I'll do that first. And I saved that piece of solar yellow. That's going to be my positioning template. So I'm going to put this in all the way at the bottom because this was the very bottom spot when I punched my sample. And then I'll put this, actually I probably should have punched 2 of that so that I could line it up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch 2 of this one so I can line it up. We'll see if I did a good enough job getting it in there straight. Okay, we'll punch a second one. All right. And now I'm going to put this back in there, lining up this edge along the bottom. And then when I put this in, I can see how if I put this along the bottom, the stars don't line up. But if I scoot this up just a little bit, I can line these stars up. Oh, that's the star that needs to line up. Wait a second. What is happening here? Oh no, it's upside down. It's the back side. So we're going to do it this way. We'll do it that way. Nope, oh yeah, that'll work. There we go. Now these are lining up. So I'm holding the yellow down to keep it from sliding. And then I'm just matching the stars. Okay, that still doesn't work. What is happening here? Why will it not line up? All right, it does line up this direction. So, okay, I'm gonna have to put this at the bottom. Okay, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to line it up this way and then line up the punch down here. Okay, so now I've got this one lined up with this. Oh goodness. This is not working like I hoped. Because now this is all the way to the top, which maybe is all right for this side, because that's the side I skipped, right? So I'll do this one. Oh, you guys, this was a terrible idea. Okay, so now this one's going to go on the top. And then I'm going to match this design somehow. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll match the design first. Match those stars. And then I'll put this in. This at the top. Line it up right there. Hold this at the bottom. Pull that out. Kind of went off the edge here. All right, we'll see. We'll see how this works. It worked okay. That looks all right there on that one edge. But now I need to do the corner here. So this is going to be the tricky one. Because this was the edge that was at the top, right? No. This was the edge that was at the top. Okay, so that's going to be all right. Because I can do this one this way. With this. But I'm going to put this one at the bottom. And then this hopefully will match this way. Okay, kind of match. But now this one I'm going to have to punch the opposite direction so that my stars line up. So I'm punching with the back piece showing. And again, we'll do this down here. All right, I'm lining that up along the bottom. I'm going to line this piece up with that. All right. Slide this guy out, close that down. And now we cross our fingers and go back up the chain. All right, and now we see if it worked. There's our orange piece. So if we put this on here, all right, I am okay with that. It's actually a little bit bigger than I would have liked. I should have maybe just not trimmed this edge, or I just had a peak of that orange trim, but I'm okay with that. The little corners worked out okay. It was a pain. I don't know that I would suggest anybody does this technique, but I'm glad to know that it could be done to punch around the corner. I don't know that you could do it around all four corners because I don't know how you would line it up, but I think this little template helped a lot. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other one. And ordinarily, I would just fast forward through this and come back when I'm done. But I think because it was confusing enough that I'm going to do it, I'm going to show you again. I'm going to look at this and see if there's a direction. There's kind of a direction. I can kind of see those lines, and I want it to be this way. So I want to cut this side, and that side. So I guess I still have to trim it, and I still have to fold it, and then I'll figure out which direction. So there's a 1/4 inch off 2 sides, and I may be able to use these little planet strips for something later. 1/4 inch off 2 sides. I'm done with my trimmer. And then I have to fold the corners. Oh, that's right. I'll pinch this corners to start. Actually, I think I'm just going to pinch all the corners so that I know that when I get to the corner, it wants to be exactly on the point. I don't know where I learned that little technique, but it seems to really work for me. So here's the corners to the corners. And I didn't really want to put much of a crease in it because I do feel like you're going to see, or I'm going to see that crease, especially on this darker paper. It tends to leave a mark. And then I'm going to do it the other direction. Having that pre-started corner is really helpful. Okay, so now what I want to do, I need to punch off the corner that's going to be up there. So I want that corner to be not this one. This one. I want this to be the corner I punch off the edge. So we'll fold this way. And we'll put it in here, starting this at the top. That's going to go that way. Okay. I hope this is going to work. All right, now I'm going to skip the first one and punch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I would be cautious about which border maker cartridges you use this with. I would probably not want to do double thickness with something like this. That's a little bit more delicate. This one, that's an edge punch where it stays attached and it's got a lot, you know, a lot of the paper is going to stay in. It's not as delicate. I think this one's all right, but I hope I won't be sorry. Okay, so now I've got my 2 corners right here. So this one, with this top edge, it was already here. So I can just punch off the edge and that should line up just right. And actually, oh no, because I want to go off the edge now on this one too. So this is the corner that needs to be punched. It might actually work if I line this corner up exactly. I'm going to try that. If I line this top corner up exactly right here at the top. Okay, I'm going to have to crease it a little bit more. And then I'm going to use my little template thingy and see. Oh, I can't see. No, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite line up. No, it actually almost, it's right there, it looks like. No, I can't tell. Maybe it's this way. Okay, it is that way. So maybe this, you know, if I put this corner at the bottom, no, but that's the one I need to punch off the edge. How do I get this to line up? This was the top edge, and this is the edge that needs to be at the top right here. So I think if I do it like that, that should work. That should work. But it doesn't quite. It almost works. I think that's, no, that's that piece right there. And it's up, it's a 1/4 inch off, but it's supposed to be like that. So what if I put this all the way down to the bottom? No, that doesn't work either. Okay. I thought I had it when I was doing it before. I'm sure somebody at home has figured it out and is telling me, Nicole, this is what you need to do. Is it upside down? Is it this one? Is it because of this? No, that doesn't line up either. And see, I'm trying to just line this up and figure out. Oh, you know, it's this side. It's the other side. Because I punched in two directions. Oh, you guys, what was I thinking? Aha, so it's like this. So if this is the way I need to punch this next piece off the edge, but I have to line this up here, and it doesn't. So I got to go this way to the top. I think that's it. I think that's what I have to do. Now this piece goes to the top. We'll punch right here. Oh, that feels like that's scooted a little bit. All right. So we're gonna cross our fingers again and punch this way. That worked okay. And now I've got to punch, that was the top right here. So this one, I don't know. I don't know how to figure this one out. I think I'm gonna punch on this side. This is gonna be the top. We'll try another template. You know, all those times I snip stuff out, I'm not going to snip any of this out. You guys are going to see the whole ugly truth of how this worked for me. All right, so this is going to go this is the one that's like the double where it cuts in half. So right there, you line that up. That's on the top. I'm going to hold this. It's about 1/4 inch from the bottom. Not quite, but good enough. All right. This is the part where I tell you maybe never do this technique. I don't know that this was worth the effort that I had to put into figuring it out. I do have other videos that show how to, make frames, inside frames, some of those things, punching around a corner. I can't remember what I have them called, but there are ways to do this with our border punches that are much easier and foolproof, and this one was not it because of just the nature of the border maker system and how you have to punch with. But all right, we're gonna come back to our little cheese paper, and that's gonna be our background. And now it's like, do I really want to deal with the little yellow banner, or is that gonna be too much? But I think I do, and I'm going to use the lightning bolt paper. And I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to punch it out and then trim it. I'm not going to try and do any crazy fancy punches. And you guys have watched me punch enough that I am not going to make you watch me. I'm just going to punch 6 strips of this lightning bolt. Actually, I'm going to punch one and see what I think about it. And if I like it, I will punch the rest. It's a little bit bigger, I think, than I was thinking. But I kind of do like it. So I'm going to go ahead and punch 5 more of this, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've punched my 6 ribbon wave. I think that was the name of it. But before I assemble, I hate the idea of using all of this and covering up 90% of this paper. Not just because of the paper waste, because I don't know that I'll use much of this paper. This is probably my least favorite paper in this pack, and I have lots of it left over. But it's pretty thick with 2 full thicknesses, and my heart hurts when I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out like an inside U-shaped frame of this. And so I'm going to just make sure how much I need to leave to make sure I have a good base for this to attach to. And I could probably do a 1.5 inch, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do a 2-inch frame, a 2-inch U-shaped frame, just because that way I'll have a little space to work on. And I am confident enough in my ability to do this that I'm going to, I'm just going to eyeball it. I did just learn a technique using binder clips, and I need to get me some binder clips because that made it super fast. But I don't have any binder clips right now. So in a future video, we'll be talking about the binder clips idea, which I think originated with advisor Megan Jacks. But I'm just going to start here on the 2-inch line. I'm going to move my blade housing down so that my blade starts the cut at the 2-inch line, which means that the edge of my blade housing is going to be here on the 3-inch line. But then I want my edge to stop cutting at the 10-inch line, which means I need my blade to stop, the housing to be on the 11. Oops, sorry. So when I want the 1-inch housing, just kind of gives me a guide of where to start and stop. So I want it to stop at the 10. So I'm going to bring my housing to the 11. And I did the edge side first. Okay, so I have now this piece that has a cut. There's a 2-inch gap there and a 2-inch gap there. So now it's a little bit easier when I cut. Because I'm doing a U, I can just cut off the edge. I only need to do my first cut. So I want the blade to start at 2 so the housing can come to 3. And then I'm just going to cut off the edge. And then for this one, I'm going to flip it over so that I can get to that 2-inch line. And then again, I'll start. The blade is at 2, so the housing is at 3. And I'll just zip off the edge. And now I've got this, all this paper I could use for something else, or if in any case, it's just going to remove some of the bulk from my album. So the 1-inch frame is the easiest to cut just because the blade housing has that 1-inch gap, but 2 inches not that bad. So now we're going to stick this down, and I think I want my 13 by 13 inch mat, because this is going to help me position this so that I know I'm straight. So I'm going to line this up with the lines on here. I'm going to grab my adhesive, and I'm going to use regular adhesive on the kind of the inside, because I have that 2 inches now to work with. But I do think I am going to go and bring my repo and go over the starry parts. So this is, you know, saving paper, but I'm wasting adhesive, I guess. Not wasting adhesive, but, you know, it's using a little bit more adhesive than I would ordinarily use. Here's my little silicone mat. My repositionable. There's one little place right there that has kind of a little hiccup. All right, so right here, You can see when I lined up the punch, there's like a little string. So I'm just gonna trim that off. And that's probably the kind of thing that I shouldn't let bother me. But since I saw it, I had to do it. Oh, it's right here too, because I did it on two. We're punching together. Trying to line up, punching it folded, and trying to use tools in a different way than they were intended sometimes can make it hard. So now I'm just gonna, again, line this up. I guess I didn't have to do it first before I put the adhesive on. But then by putting this here on this side, I can make sure that I'm, came to like, I want this edge is the one that really needs to line up well. If I can get this edge lined up, I maybe should have put that at the bottom. I'll do it like that. I hope this is nobody's first Theme Park Thursday video with me, because it's a hot mess, girls and guys, whoever's out there watching. It's yeah, scrapbooking, not live because I'm going to cut out some of this, but this is the process sometimes. All right, so the edge of this is at about the 1/4 inch, and here, okay, now I'm going to put the edge kind of the 3/8 of an inch line right there, and then it comes just about to the 3/8 of an inch line right there. So I've got those lined up, and I'm gonna kind of go out to get this unfolded. So I don't love that it's not, like, it feels like it's wider here than on the top or the bottom, but oh well, that's okay. And so now for the next one, I need to kind of do it a different way, in that I need to, it's more important for me to line it up with itself, I think, than with the mat. So we'll do the same thing with the adhesive. Oh, this beautiful planets, my favorite paper. It's super busy though, but that's probably why I like it. I like the busy papers. Hopefully I mostly use them sparingly and appropriately. And this is just to keep this little starry edge from flipping up, especially because I did have to fold the paper to do the punching around the corner. Okay, so now I'm going to line this guy up with this, and then make sure my edges are good, and then go that way. Okay, so you really can see the crease for now. I'll kind of uncrease it a little bit, but I'm hoping that once we get all the rest of the pictures and embellishments and all those things on, it'll be all right. So the next thing I think I want to do is put this yellow ribbon right up along the edge of the stars. This is a lot. Oh well. Last week was the Small World. That one was also a lot. That's just what I am. I'm just a lot. So I think what I'll do is I'll stick the top and bottom down first, and then I will be able to trim this. I think if I trim 2 little loop-de-loops off, it'll fit just right, and that'll work. Okay. And again, reposition will definitely for this one. And not the very last piece, because that we're going to trim that off. So kind of right about there. Just so that the edge of the circle is just touching the stars. I don't know if that's straight, but it looks straight to me. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Oh, do I care about what direction these little swoopies go? Oh, I guess it's the same. Either way. Okay, good. That makes it easy. So we'll do the same thing here, just kind of touching the stars. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap right here so that I can position this next piece. And then this one will go oh, I guess I can cut 3 little swoops off. We'll cut this one off. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. It's going to overlap a little bit. That's all right. I'm going to cut the little tail off. That right here. And then this one right here, I'll cut the tail off. It's not going to be perfect, but what is? Nothing. Even computers don't do things perfectly. Just ask any AI question and answer bot. Some of the things they come up with are kind of nuts. Okay, so that's what the page, the base page, so we put our pictures on, is going to look like. I like it. It's very Disney-esque. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's our base page, which took way more time than I was expecting, but you got to admit, it looks pretty cool to have that double border and have it go around the corner and have the corners look as nice as they do. So now let's take our pictures, which I have not cropped or anything yet. Here's our waiting in line. There's that one that I took, and this one down here. And I went to all that trouble. I'm just gonna cover up half of this. That's okay. I think I'm gonna trim these down a little bit. That's that one she took, and this one of them going in. And then these two down here. So I actually don't know that I'm going to do too much trimming. I think I'll trim this one off a smidge. I actually might trim that off a little bit because it's just black. I guess I could even trim them a little shorter if I want to. So trim that part off. Those can stay. I'll trim a smidge off the top of this. That's all ceiling, and maybe a little bit this way. Although kind of like the battery right there. Maybe I'll trim it a hair that way too. And then this one can stay whole. This one I'll trim down a little bit. That one's definitely going to stay whole. I think I'm going to cut these down just, I think I'll cut a ½ inch off the top. Because there's a lot of extra black space right there that we don't care about. When I used to teach a lot of the beginner classes with Creative Memories, I used to always say that cropping allows you to create the picture you meant to take. And a lot of times, you know, we meant to take the picture of the scene, not all the black background. So this one, I think I will cut. I don't know whose are whose. I'm sure that, you know, the high one is Katie because she used to work at Disney and she managed to figure out some of the secrets. I kind of like this one because it has people in front of us. That might be Michelle. I don't know. It's kind of pink and glowing. Kind of was hoping to do kind of a like side and side. I'll do this. Like that, maybe. This can go right here. This needs to go up a, well, do I want it to come down, tuck down into here? I think that's okay. I guess I could line that up at the top right there. And then this can go in here like that. I think that works right there. Okay, let's stick these down. And it is going to, I think, cover up a lot of that fold. So there's the crease right there. And the crease right here. I thought I might actually use the stickers, maybe the border stickers or something for this layout. But I don't think it needs much else. I think that too much more embellishment is going to just be way too much. So we'll stick this down. I do need a place for a title, don't I? It might need to be on a block of cardstock or something. All right. So this is another one of those attractions at Disney that I have scrapbooked so many times that it is really kind of tricky for me. Look, those didn't line up with each other. I pulled this guy down a little bit too much. I'm going to scoot that wavy banner up just a smidge. I'm lining the pictures up with each other, and I'm going to scoot that banner up a smidge. I have scrapbooked this so many times that I kind of run out of fun things to say about titles. You know, only so many times you can say Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, because I've used that many times. So now I've got to get a little creative with some other title. I don't know what that's going to be. I think when you get on the ride, I think he says like, "Attention Space Rangers," or something like that, which, you know, is fine. I think I have used Space Rangers before. You can still tell that says score, I think, so. Put this right here. I guess I can still tuck that behind, and then this one goes up right there. All right, because it's not touching, I kind of want to keep them all inside this square. Well, that one went off, but I think I'm going to trim this off just another smidge so that it fits within the square. Trying to think if like this is a layout that I would do if I weren't doing it for YouTube, and it really is. It really is. I wouldn't have had to, you know, think through my process maybe quite as specifically, but I'm not necessarily doing this just because I'm, you know, like I'm not trying to impress you. These are the kind of layouts I would do. Do I want to do that? I kind of don't, because I only have myself. That's a bit much. I think I'm just going to not mat any of these photos. And I can't decide which piece gets tucked under. Do I tuck? No, that will hide the... I'll have to hide Michelle right there. Tuck that right there. I think I'll do it like this. I'll reposition this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now we need a title. Wanted Emperor Zurg, score counter, calling all Space Rangers. Maybe I could do that. I think it needs to be white. Sticker letters. Oh, something about Star Command. Come in, Star Command. That's what Buzz Lightyear says. I think I'm going to say that. Come in, Star Command. Maybe I'll even put little quotation marks on it because that's what Buzz Lightyear says. Okay, let's find the sticker letters. My brain is saying white, but maybe I'll use the orange because I have orange sticker letters that I frankly don't see myself using a whole lot, except maybe for Halloween. So let's see what I got. All right, apparently the last time I used my white sticker letters, I didn't put them back in my bin of stickers. So I think we're going to go with orange because I don't want to have to search for my sticker letters. Oh, do I want to say Star Command? Do I want to say Space Station? Do I want to say Mission Accomplished? I mean, I kind of like Come In Star Command. Calling Star Command. I'm missing one of my pages of this. I hope I left it in my little folder. Okay, I think I'm going to say Calling Star Command, just because I am not really thinking of anything else more clever. And I'm going to use uppercase because I don't know where my second page of these are, and I'm kind of feeling like I've spent enough time on this layout. Going through the piles of stuff that I should have put away and didn't is more than I want to deal with. So, calling. And sometimes that happens. I don't know. Is that just me? Sometimes when I've worked on a layout for a long time, I'm just like, that's good enough. I'm done. Done. Oh, I hope it's going to fit Calling Star Command. Oh, I don't know if it is, but I guess I could do Command. I've had to move that up. Calling Star Command. So maybe I don't want to put these guys down yet. Maybe I need to do the ruler thing. All right, let me figure this out on my ruler before I stick it down, and I'll just do that off camera and come back to you. Okay, so here's kind of my my little trick as I position these on my zero centering ruler, just so I can kind of see, like I won't be able to fit Calling Star Command unless I did Calling Star Command. I guess I could do that way. But even that, command is big. Maybe I will do it that way. Calling Star Command, or I can do it Calling Star Command that way. And I know these are upside down. I'm just using it for spacing. And maybe I'll do Star Command and then put Calling that way. And I'm just going to do them freeform, I think, because I'm lazy. And that will be faster. Okay, again, I'll put these down. I'll be right back. Okay, I got this all stuck down and I kind of hate it. It looks like Calling Star Command, and I don't like that. So I think I'm gonna have to pull them up, and I think I'm gonna have to run Command over here so I can fit Star Command. I couldn't actually fit it that way. So, and I did kind of end up lining it up along the edge of my picture, just visually, but I think now I'm gonna have to just move it. So yeah, now I kind of feel like I need to make it straight. So I'm using the vertical line right here on here, and I'm just going to move this all the way over here. And thankfully, this paper has little white speckles on it already. So if the stickers pull up a little bit of the paper, which they are, you can't really tell because it just looks like the white speckles that were already on there. All right, so I got this down, but once again, the letters are kind of getting lost in the background design. I think partly because I did use the orange and it's all already orange. So I'm going to use my metallic gold pen. And what I did is I tested it on the little scrap that I had to see how it would show up. And I need it to be kind of on the yellow and on the blue. And I feel like it shows up okay. This is the dual tip pen. The dot tip pen that's metallic. So the dual tip pens have a black barrel and the dot tip pens have a silver barrel. For some reason, the journal or the smaller end of the metallic pen is a lot wider than the fine tip end of a regular pen. And I think it must just have something to do with the metallic ink. But in the dot tip pen, it has a finer tip. So I don't seem to have the metallic fine tip, although I'm sure I ordered it and I'm sure I brought it home. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to use the wide tip, even though I'm afraid it's going to be too wide. Not the wide, it's called a fine tip. But this one is a lot harder to do this technique because it is a wider tip and it's more like a little brush pen. So I hope I'm not sorry. I think it'll be all right. It's going to be okay. It's just going to give a little bit more of a border than I ordinarily like. So we'll see how it goes. And somebody commented in a recent video that they tried this, tracing around their their letters, and they had trouble like going right alongside the edge. And so I'm not real sure what your trouble was, if you were not comfortable like running the edge of your pen just along the side, if you went too close and went over the edge onto the sticker. One thing I love about these CM stickers, except for the white ones, which we've talked about, have more of a matte finish, is that they have a glossy plasticky finish almost. And if you do accidentally kind of go over it, you can just take like a Q-tip and dip it in a tiny bit of water, or, lick it with your tongue to make it just a little bit wet. And then you can just kind of quick rub off the ink before it has a chance to dry. So I'd love to know, do you ever use this technique of tracing around letters? Is that something that other people do, or is it just a weird Nicole thing? So let me know in the comments. And I was just going to fast forward through this, but it's going pretty quick, and maybe you'll see that it doesn't take that long. And maybe I'll mess up, and then I'll show you how I correct that. But it's working okay. It's a little bit of a wider edge than I wanted, but it definitely feels like it's making the sticker letters stand out a little bit more. And I don't know why they have the different tip sizes. I should ask somebody. I love to ask Creative Memories questions. I don't know how they feel about me asking them questions, but I'm so curious about stuff like that. All right. So maybe I will just finish this up and be right back. You can see when I do it on the picture. Okay, I have to talk. When I do it on the picture, it's a little bit different. It sets on top of the picture as opposed to sinking into the paper. So it's a little slicker. It is a little tricky to do it on here where the punch is and the background is not the same height. I don't think it's going quite as well. And now part of me is thinking, man, I should have done just black around it. So maybe I'll go back and do black too, or navy. Maybe I'll do navy on top of the metallic, just to give that extra little bit of definition, although that's just a little extra bit of work for me too. Oh, okay, so I did it. I just got my pen right over there. See on the N right here? I got to zoom down. Right here on the N, oops, my pen slipped and went on there, and the ink came on there. So I don't have any Q-tips, but I have tissues. Because remember I said I was sick? Still have tissues. So I'm just going to make a little tip. I'm just going to lick it. You could use water, you could use something else, and then I'm just going to go on here And you know how when I color the sticker letters, they have to dry a little bit so that the ink doesn't rub off? I want it to rub off. So now I've just rubbed it off with this little piece of tissue. Looks a little gross, but I promise it was just ink pen. And so now it's not, you know, it didn't go over there. It didn't, I don't have the ink on top of my letter. You can still see a little bit. I didn't quite get all of it, but nobody's going to know. All right, and I'll just finish this up. I don't know. I can't decide if I need to now go back and use the navy pen. I feel like it gave kind of a base, but I don't know that it really gave the definition I was hoping for. It almost made like a shadow layer on this on these stickers, but not the definition that outlining with a darker pen would have given. So I think I might let this dry a minute and then come back with a navy pen. And I definitely will not make you watch that one because I've already showed you what to do if you go onto your sticker letter. And a Q-tip would have worked better, and I used to have Q-tips close to my crop area, but I don't know where they are. I found on Facebook Marketplace a really cool organizer a few months ago, and in order to bring it in here, I had to take a bunch of other stuff out, and I've just not ever brought everything back in. So that doesn't mean to say that my craft room is as tidy as it needs to be, but every time I come down here to start organizing, I get distracted and start scrapbooking instead. Okay, so there I've done the title, calling star command. It's all right, but I do think I'm going to find my my navy pen and go around these one more time. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, especially here on the picture, before I do that. And then I think I'll be done. But let me do the navy. Let me do the navy, and yeah, I'll be right back. All right, before I finish doing the navy, I'm going to just hold it up and see if you can tell the difference. I don't even know if you can. I can tell a difference between the word calling and the word star command just from where I went around with the navy. So for me, it's made a difference. I don't know if, you know, sometimes I don't know if some of these little things I do are worth the effort I put into them, but I do them anyway. And sometimes you can't tell until you've started doing it, and by then it's too late. But I can tell a difference. And with the navy, I'm messing up more. So again, you can see on this A, so I just got to pull out my little tissue and just get it a little tiny bit wet and clean that off so that you'll never be able to tell that there was a little mishap. But it only works with kind of glossy letters. And like I say, the white ones have more of a matte finish. That doesn't work. Other things, like sometimes when I've cut letters out of cardstock with my silhouette, I actually will take an X-Acto knife and scrape off the part where I messed up. And like I just did right there. And that will, you know, as long as you got solid core cardstock, that will, you know, you can just scrape it off. And it leaves, I mean, you can tell if you look closely, but you know, nobody's going to look closely at these. They're looking at the overall layout. The only people are going to notice are you and some of your friends who are also scrapbookers who are trying to figure out how did you do that. All right, so there I'm done. Calling star command. And I think I am, I need to journal. But I don't know what to say to journal. This is just, maybe I'll journal that because it was late at night, we each got to ride in our own car. And I think I'm going to do that on a little piece of this yellow paper. Yeah, but I don't know where. Maybe I want to say, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that picture This picture is the one she's taking right there. That's something I would tell you if we were sitting next to each other. But I think I am going to write, because it was late at night, we each got our own car. I think I'm going to see if I can find my white pen. Not a CM pen. Oh, look, here it is right here. And I'm just going to write, because it was late at night and raining, we were each able to get our own car. So let me write that. I'll be right back. Think I'm done. I do kind of wish I had more space to journal, because I realized as I was writing this little tiny journal box right here that instead of saying because it was late at night we each got our own car, I wish I would have said, I don't know why there aren't pictures of the other girls, but it's enough. I wrote that. Now I will have something to say to you if you're sitting on the couch next to me. And part of me wants to write something over here, but I don't think this needs any embellishment. I think that the borders themselves make plenty of embellishment. I think it's a lot. The last few layouts, I feel like I've kind of gone a little overboard. But I like it. I don't know what I would do differently. I like that I was able to use this kind of galaxy paper and the cheese paper and the yellow. And I think it is very fun for Disney and for Buzz Lightyear. Maybe another little journal box or pull out or something like that. If you were wanting to fit more in, or take one of these pictures out. You guys don't really need pictures of the ride. But there we go. Buzz Lightyear. This is layout number 22 in our Theme Park Thursday series. And we're moving right along, and we really are almost to the end. I think I have 3 more layouts before we finish our first day at the Magic Kingdom. And then we always take more pictures at the Magic Kingdom than everywhere else. So we'll have fewer layouts per park for the rest of our trip. But it was a 5-day trip, and we are just getting to the end of day 1. So thanks a lot. Appreciate your watching and your comments and your feedback. And of course, if you will like and subscribe, that helps the YouTube algorithms show me to other people and show me to you. So thanks very much. Happy scrapbooking. I'll see you next Thursday.